Hello. Excuse me. I wanted to talk a little bit about beauty. You are beautiful intrinsically because you are a child of God, made in the image of God. And God is good, and God is true, and God is beautiful. And so are you in your essence. Now, maybe you don't believe that, and maybe you don't love yourself, but you are loved. And what is truly beautiful, throw out societal standards, because we live in upside down land. We actually live in a death cult. And so what is now considered beautiful culturally is actually quite sick and not in service of life and goodness and love. What is truly beautiful is when you love yourself, truly, not in a narcissistic way, because narcissism is actually self-hatred. It's an act, it's a front, it's puffery. When you truly love yourself, you take care of yourself. You eat right to the best of your ability. You eat right, you exercise, you get rest. You take care of yourself as you would a child that you love. Because you are a child, you're God's child. And He's entrusted you with this body. When a person is kind to themselves and a person loves themselves, the light of love in God shines outward from them, and that's attractive. That's true beauty. Now, when a person lacks that, when they lack real light and real self-love, it's not attractive. So in order to be attractive, what people will do is they will fake it. They will lie about their self-love and their self-care, and they will paint it on, or they will inject it, and they will wear a mask. I'm talking literally now. I'm talking about when you have health, you will glow. Your skin will glow. You'll have a natural blush, right? Your eyes will sparkle. It's health. When you don't take care of yourself, you might have to paint that on with rouge to be attractive. See, that's a lie. We're attracted to light and love and beauty, real beauty. That's attractive to people. They want to be around it because it's in our best interest. It's in our best interest to hook up with a mate, with a partner who loves themselves and is healthy, so that they will be able to love the child that you might create with this person and raise a healthy child and pass healthy genetics on. Okay? But we don't live in a world that promotes health and wellness and love and real beauty. We live in a death cult that teaches us that we have to earn love and that we're not good enough, and we eat poison. You see? And the reason I'm thinking about this is because I just had a funny encounter with the Jezebel spirit. Now, the Jezebel spirit is running amok. I believe a lot of the problems in our culture in the U.S., in the Western world, is rooted in a Jezebel culture, which is a gross perversion of the divine feminine, a motherly feminine nature that all women have naturally. It's been perverted by the darkness, right? Truly feminine women who are healthy are beautiful because they're exerting and they're emanating light and love, and they're caring. They care for others. They nurture others. That first starts with self-love and self-care and self-acceptance. And that's being receptive. Women are receptive. And the light of love and God flows through a woman who is healthy and in her divine femininity, and it pours and it overflows and it runs out of her, and she feeds her children, she feeds her husband, she feeds her community. She sustains, right? She doesn't sacrifice, because there's not a limited supply. There's manna flowing through the divine feminine. It's coming from God. But when you have been cut off from that, you have nothing to give. And you will become a hungry, hungry ghost. And you have to take. And that's what's happened to a lot of women in this world. Women have a wound. You know, culturally, women were told that they needed to compete against men, right? And then the family started falling apart. Women decided they didn't want kids. And I'm not saying all women should have kids. It's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying women shouldn't work. But I'm saying we shouldn't be competing against one another, the sexes. We are different. And when we started competing against each other, instead of recognizing that we complement one another in our differences, and that our differences are actually what make us strong when we come together. When we throw that out the window and we begin, men and women, to compete against each other, all hell breaks loose. That's what's wrong in the world. Women stepped out of their divine femininity. They closed off the receptivity of the flow of God. They're supposed to be the ones nurturing the children, raising the men who choose the women that they have children with. And you see, if women are sick and living in fear, and they're cut off from the light of God, and they are scared of their own femininity and their own divinity, then everyone suffers, because women bring life into this world. And I'm telling you guys, the opposite of a divine woman who's in her natural state, who is open and receptive, is a Jezebel. She's not. A Jezebel doesn't want children. And I'm not saying you're a Jezebel if you don't want children. I'm saying a woman who is a Jezebel spirit will scoff at a child, because they're going to get in her way, because children need attention. A child has to come before yourself. You can't be selfish and be raising a child. There's so many people in this world today that don't want children, not because they can't afford them. Now, that's an issue too, but there are people who just don't want kids because they don't want to put their resources towards a kid. They want to use their resources on themselves, because they have no light of their own. They've been cut off from God, so they're looking to the outside world, to an external locus of control, to feed the hole inside of them, which means all of their resources and all of their energy and all of their attention has to be put towards that. It can't go to a child, because they have a deficit of love and energy and light. And what you see is women who wear way too much makeup. They wear their dresses low and short, and they use themselves as an object, like a lure. If you were to go fishing to try to catch a fish, they make themselves bright and shiny, and it's all fake. It's a facade. And they lure in men, and they suck the life force and the energy of men through their sexuality. They know that men want sex. It's a biological need that men have. Okay? It's part of how we reproduce and go on. But it's been perverted. A lot of men have a mother wound because we live in this culture that's rife with the Jezebel spirit, and they never got properly mothered. Same with women. So we all want mommies, but there's no mommies to be found. And that's no one person's problem in particular. Like, we've all been a victim to that. But it's just, we're not to blame for the trauma that we incurred, but we are responsible for fixing the trauma. I have a mother wound. I had a mother wound. I've been working my whole life to fix it, to address it. But the whole world around me is telling me that the way that I feel better about myself is to be sexy, or to be pretty, to be beautiful. If you can attract men, if you can make men buy you things, then that's what it is to be beautiful and to be powerful. Not to be a mother, not to be a giver of life, not to be a supportive play a supportive role and a nurturing role in your community. No, but to be a sex object, to be a diva. That's what a lot of women are aiming for these days, because we've been culturally conditioned and programmed to believe that that's what's powerful. No, it's the opposite. The thing that keeps you going and running in that direction and chasing after pretty shiny things that you can use to manipulate others with and get your way with, that's a result of a deficit of light and love. When you are filled with the Holy Spirit and love and light, you don't need to look to others or manipulate others to feed off of their light and love. And I'm not just like talking about women. It's men too. Men can have a Jezebel spirit. It's what happens when you have a deficit of self-love. And you get a deficit of self-love by being raised by people who have a deficit of self-love. There's nothing to give. You can't pour from an empty cup. And you can't fill your cup with material things. That's a lie that we've been told. We're all trying to acquire material wealth so that we can feel full. It's not, no. There's no nutrition in that spiritually. You have to fill yourself up with God. That's how we were made. It's just a fact. That's how we work. That's what we run on. But the reason so many people are sick, mentally and physically, and depressed and anxious, and looking at other people as objects and looking at ourselves as objects, is because we've forgotten who and what we are. We're children of God. And if we would remember that and submit to that, then we would truly be beautiful. Truly. And you are in your essence. But we've been taught to deny that or to reject that. And it's a way to control people. And at this point, it's been going on for so long that we've all been born into it. And it's spiritual. We're under the sway of a dark entity, of a dark, you can call it Satan. But it's not in service of love. It's not in service of life. And I'm thinking about all this because I was in Maui and I had a very weird experience, very interesting experience with the Jezebel energy, a woman who's embodied it. And this is what happened. She invited me. I was in a cafe. And I met this local woman in Maui, and she came to me and said she was so drawn to me, and that she felt like I was a sister, and that she felt like that I was a prayer that had been answered, that she had been praying to God for God to send her a woman, a friend, a female friend, because all of her friends were male, and she's so drawn to me, and she wanted to invite me to her house in the jungle, and she said she had an outdoor bathtub in her garden, and that there was a yoga studio with massage tables, and she was a massage therapist, and she wanted to treat me to a hot bath and a massage, and she cooked me dinner as well. I went with her. She did all this, but on the way there, it was funny because she said, she had told me she was drawn to me, right? That's what she said. But then, as we're going to her house, she says, I want you to meet my friend Josiah. She's like, he's got to be around here somewhere. This is where he hangs out. And I just know that you two will get along. Okay, so then we run in. She finds Josiah. She parks the car. I'll be right back, she says. She goes and gets him. She's like pointing. She's pointing at me, telling Josiah, like, oh, I met this woman, Shalom, and isn't she, like, she's cool. She's like telling him that he'll really like me. Okay. He comes over and he goes, oh, I think he's joking. He says, like, oh, you're trying to, like, lure me in with a beautiful woman. This is what he says. And she's like, no, yeah, you guys will get along. So he gets in, we go out. She does all these things for me. She gives me a bath. She runs a bath for me. She gives me a massage. She's trying to tell me that she wants to give the two of us to give Josiah a massage. Now, Josiah, he doesn't want a massage. She offered him a massage first. Just she was going to massage me and massage him. And he, for some reason, I could tell he was very apprehensive for her to touch him. He didn't want that, which I found I was like, oh, something strange must have happened between them, because who doesn't want a free massage, you know? So, long story short, it turns out she actually was using me as a piece of bait. She was interested in this young man sexually, and she was using me as a younger woman who is somewhat attractive. Like, she thought that this man would find me attractive, and he did. And he was telling me how beautiful he thought I was in front of her. And I ended up leaving because she like got really angry with me and started being threatening towards me, and I just like took my leave very quickly after that. She just on a dime flipped. But she started in on him, like tearing him down, and he was right in front of me. He was sitting right there, and she was talking about him as if he weren't there. And I defended him. She was saying that he had no discernment, he made bad choices, and I said, oh, well, he seems like a very smart guy. She didn't like that. She laid into me for arguing, told me how disrespectful I was for disagreeing with her, and it was bizarre. And then she said, you're lucky you're not beautiful. You're cute, but you're not beautiful. It was a crazy thing to say. She was dealing with some mental health issues. I didn't realize that when I first met her, but it became apparent. So, seemingly out of nowhere, she says that, but this is why I started putting all the pieces together, is like, oh, okay, she actually does think I'm beautiful. She's, like, using me to try to get this guy to come out here, to get him close. She's using me as bait. Okay, this is all coming together in my head. As she's yelling at me, she starts calling me names, calling me a shithead, telling me I'm disrespectful, telling me I'm not beautiful. Okay, time to go. So I'm like leaving. This guy's following me. He's like escorting me out. He's like, the only reason I came here is because you were with her. And I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, she's like this. And he's like, you're a beautiful woman. That's why I came, honestly. Like, so this is Jezebel. She wanted this man sexually, and he had no interest in her. And so she used me to lure him in. And then, because he found me beautiful, she was trying to tear me down and tell me I wasn't beautiful. This is what's going on in the world. Beautiful young men, children of God, are being taught to doubt themselves. They're being deprived of love. A wound is being created in them. And then they're going out into the world trying to fill that wound that's been created by a deficit of love. And they'll try to fill it with anything. With money, with sex, with drugs, with fame. Fame is a big one. Everybody's obsessed with fame. It's a mother wound. And a father wound. This is but it starts with the mother. That's the most important, most fundamental relationship a person has is with their mother. That's who makes us. Well, God makes us, but we come through the mother. We need the mother for life. And so when you have a mother wound, it opens you up to all sorts of predation. And we're all being preyed upon, people. That's what's happening. God's children are being preyed upon, and it started with wounding the mother. Well, wounded the community and then the family. And the family was, if you can get the mother, the family falls apart. And you need a father too, obviously. But like I said, the mother is the most fundamental relationship. And that's why the Jezebel spirit is running rampant in this world. It's because we need to heal the divine feminine. This is a hypothesis. I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying this is what I believe from my life experience as a person who has a mother wound, who has healed it to a great degree. But I'm very aware of that. And I see it all around me. And I see the way it's played out in media and culture, in every aspect of our world. Like, sexuality is used against us. It's been it's become perverse, and I believe it's all related to a wounding of the divine feminine. And then men became wounded. Why are all the men trying to be women now? Okay, it's all related. We need a mother, all of us. So Be kind to yourself. Love yourself. This is where it all starts. If we're going to heal the divine feminine, there's femininity in all of us. We all have feminine traits and masculine traits. You got to reparent yourself. You got to be your own mother. You have to open yourself up and be receptive. Even you, men. You can't look to a woman to be your mommy. And women, it's not right to use your sexuality to game and use men to get your will be done. That's witchcraft. It's wrong. Men, likewise, it's wrong to use your sexuality. It's wrong to use your power and your wealth and your money and your influence to control and dominate. We do this because we're scared. Ultimately, people who practice the occult and witchcraft, what is magic? What is witchcraft? It's having your own will be done over God's will and over other people's. Right? You know somebody wants one thing, but you want something different, so you put a spell on them. You do some witchcraft. It's because you feel the need to control things. Why do you feel the need to control things? Because you're scared that you're not safe. But if you walk with God and you walk with light and you walk with love and truth, you have no fear. And therefore you have no reason to try to have your own will be done. You will let God's will be done. You'll be a vessel for that and a conduit for that. And that's how we heal the divine feminine. That's my hypothesis. And you're beautiful. Don't forget it. But beauty is as beauty does. Okay? You're beautiful because you were made in the image of God, but you have to take care of that beauty and let it shine forth. You have to love yourself, eat right, exercise, rest, and tell the truth.